Life Orb Solar Power Charizard with a crazy Hisuian Lilligant set paired with Dialga Origin form and Groudon was able to get top 8 in a grassroots tournament in Japan known as the Kanazumi Off. We're going to be trying out this team and seeing how well it can perform. This insane Sun team has so many interesting techs. Let's break it down. First up, we have the Dialga Origin form with the Adamant Crystal as its held item, Telepathy for the ability with Terra Fairy as a defensive type with Dragon Pulse, Flash Cannon, Trick Room, and Protect. Dialga Origin is really interesting with this form change that it gets from the Adamant Crystal. It gets a little bit of a special defense increase from regular Dialga, plus 20 in its special defense stat, alongside power up its Steel and Dragon type moves. It's a Pokemon that is pretty tanky with a really good base HP stat alongside some very high base defenses, so it's able to take the hits and usually able to set up Trick Room for a partner and dish out some pretty good chip damage. It's not really a sweeper, but more of a supportive restricted Pokemon that is able to do quite a bit with its high base special attack. The Terra Fairy is going to be your defensive typing that is able to help out against fighting type attacks specifically, as well as an immunity to dragon type moves, especially that Draco Meteor from the Miraidon. Telepathy is an ability that is going to be taken advantage a lot with this team because there are several moves on this team that is able to hit your own ally, and with telepathy you're completely immune to it, so it will showcase what it can do later on. With the EV spread, it's pretty simple. It's just a max HP and a max special attack Dialga, and it's just supposed to do really well under that Trick Room with the min speed. Next Pokemon we have is the Clear Amulet Groudon with the Drought for the ability to summon the sun, as well as the Terra Fire typing with Earthquake, Key Crash, High Horsepower, and Protect. Yeah, you're looking at that moveset, right? It does not have Precipice Blades at all. It is running Earthquake, which can be an interesting choice because Earthquake does hit your own ally. However, you do have a few things on this team that is immune to Earthquake. Mainly going to be your Charizard, which is a flying type, as well as the Dialga, which just has telepathy that is making it immune to getting hit by the Earthquake from the partner. So you can utilize Earthquake and not have to worry about Precipice Blades. It's a lot weaker of a spread move. However, it can take advantage of the fact that you don't have to worry about missing, which can be a relief to some cases, but sometimes you'll just miss the power, and sometimes you'll have awkward situations where you have to Earthquake next to your own partner and they're not immune to it. So we have the Terra Fire powered Heat Crash, which is able to do a ton of damage, and the High Horsepower as a way to get through Wide Guard. And if you do have a partner that is not immune to the Earthquake, at least you have a way to hit a target without going for damage into your own ally, and Protect to keep itself around. Clear Amulet is able to prevent the Intimidate drops as well as like Icy Wind speed drops and more, which is pretty helpful. And the Groudon does take advantage and be a really good sweeper on this team with the Earthquake. It will do quite a bit of damage, and yeah, interesting to see no Precipice Blades, but I guess if you are really worried about missing, especially since you do have some other mods that might miss and Precipice Blades is not the most consistent move, yeah, it can definitely be a big factor. And this Groudon is just supposed to do as much damage as you possibly can with max HP and max attack, just to dish out as much damage as you really can with this Groudon. But setting up the sun for Charizard, they're seeing Lilligant with Chlorophyll, and it'll take advantage of the Lilligant that's supporting this Groudon set. So how does this Lilligant support the Groudon? Well, let's go over its set with the Focus Sash to keep itself around for one hit at least, with the Chlorophyll ability to double its speed while the sun is up, with the Terra Ghost defensive type that allows it to be immune to Fake Out and extreme speed, especially those normal type moves, as well as even fighting type moves like Zamazenta Body Press. You do have close combat as your attack, so you can dish out a good amount of damage. Defog, which is an interesting move, coaching, and entrainment. So this Lilligant is definitely different from your conventional Lilligant sets. Normally we see stuff like Sleep Powder, After You, a grass type move, but this Lilligant really is going a bit out there. So what are the supportive moves supposed to do? Well, first, coaching is probably the main one that you're familiar with. It is able to increase the allies' attack and defense power by one stage, and that is very helpful with the Groudon, as you can go for coaching. Groudon is already a really good mon and being able to do a lot of damage with the attack boost as well as the defense boost on its already really high physical defense naturally. It can be a really hard mon for teams that are able to break through this Groudon if they are more reliant on their physical attacks. You have the Defog, which is a move that you don't really see, and it's just interesting on this team because I feel like if you're running Defog, you might as well run Precipice Blades to Groudon. So You can go for the Precipice Blades plus the default combination, but Defog is able to hit one Pokemon on the opponent's side, lower their evasion so you have more accurate attacks, which can be impactful for some cases, but it's also able to get rid of screens from the opponent as well as any terrain from Miraidon. Although it is still a bit strange just because Choice Specs Miraidon can still knock out the Groudon with Draco Meteor, so it's a bit awkward. However, it is something that can be coming into play. And finally, the Entrainment. So Entrainment passes off the ability of the user to the target. So you go for Entrainment to give Chlorophyll to your partner usually, or you could use it to get rid of certain abilities that you might not enjoy seeing on your opponent's team, like a Shadow Shield on Lunala, but granted they will get a Chlorophyll, so keep that in mind. But there are some cases where it can be useful onto an opponent, but mainly it's for your Groudon. You can go for the Entrainment into your Groudon. It's already set up the Sun, so that's all it needs to do. And then you go for that Entrainment into the Groudon, get Chlorophyll on the Groudon, and with coaching stacks, because the Lilligant still outspeeds the Groudon because Lilligant's faster, you could go for coaching plus multiple attacks from the Groudon and really dish out the pain. EV spread's pretty simple. It's Focus Sash, so you just go with max attack and max speed because you don't really care about the bulk with that Focus Sash intact. And you're going max speed with the Lilligant because this allows it to outspeed pretty much anything in the format thanks to the Chlorophyll, even under Tailwind, and is still beneficial even if Sun has worn off. Next Pokemon we have is the Life Orb Charizard with the Solar Power with Terra Grass for its typing with Weather Ball, Heat Wave, Terra Blast, and Protect. It's interesting that Charizard is just able to do so much damage because of that Solar Power and Life Orb boost on top of it. However, it is strange because it's not exactly a bulky Pokemon. It is pretty frail, and it does have a decent speed tier. Base 100 is not bad, but it's not the greatest in this format when a lot of the restrictions are faster. However, this Pokemon can be exceptionally good as a wall breaker. It's so much damage off the sun boosted Heat Waves and Weather Balls with the combination of its ability and Life Orb boosting it even further. It can just do a ton of damage. So you have the Weather Ball, which is able to take advantage of being the strongest single target fire type attack move out there. That is an overheat on this Charizard. It's stronger than Flamethrower and can take advantage of opposing weather. So if there's like a Kyogre, for instance, on the opposing side, you could get a water type Weather Ball, maybe into an Incineroar, for instance, which could be very punishing. You have the Heat Wave for the spread fire type attack. You have Terra Blast with Terra Grass, which is able to go for a move into the water types like Urshifu, Rapid Strike, or Kyogre, which can be pretty strong and get really heavy damage that way. Terra Grass is also a decent defensive typing because of the fact it ignores the powder moves like Sleep Powder and Spore, while also being able to resist the water type attacks in general, and then protect to keep itself around. EV spread is interesting running bulk on a Charizard, but this one decided to, with max special attack, to dish out as much damage as possible. It still has a good amount of speed to outspeed a large majority of things while having that modest nature. And then running the rest in the HP, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's just supposed to live maybe some specific scenarios where you take one hit with Charizard and then you go down to your Life Orb afterwards. So as long as you get that Life Orb hit with the Solar Power off, because there are, again, a lot of things that outspeed Charizard, having a bit of bulk for that initial hit, and then afterward, like, it's okay if Charizard goes down after it's fired off a really powerful attack. I'm guessing that's the idea of this decently bulky Charizard set. That's just supposed to be able to dish out a ton of damage utilizing its strong fire type moves in the sunlight. Next Pokemon we have is the Assault Vest Raging Bolt with the Pro Synthesis, giving it a special attack boost while in the sunlight with the Terra Electric typing with Discharge, Thunderclap, Snarl, and Draco Meteor. Raging Bolt on the Sun team, no brainer. It's able to do a lot and support the Sun because of the fact that it's really good into the Rain Dance teams in general, especially the Tornadus Urshifu or Tornadus Kyogre combinations. The Assault Vest allows Raging Bolt to be able to take the really strong special attacks like a Kyogre Water Spout, the Calyx Shadow Astral Barrages, and even some attacks from Miraidon with the help of Terra. The Protosynthesis gives it a special attack boost, of course, which is very nice, as well as the Terra Electric, which is a typing that can be used defensively to be able to take the Dazzling Gleams or any type of fairy type attacks better while powering up its electric type moves. Discharge is an interesting electric type attack, but since you do have Groudon, which is a ground type immune to Discharge, as well as the Dialga with Telepathy, which makes it immune to getting hit by the attack, it is able to be a spread electric type move, which can be really interesting in some scenarios. So very unique there. Thunderclap for the priority electric type move. You have Snarl, which is able to help out against Calyx Shadow Rider, as well as some special attackers out there, and Draco Meteor as a really strong power move. But Raging Bolt able to help out against the Rain Dance combos and especially the water types, which this team does appreciate. EV Spread's pretty simple to do a lot of max special attack, max HP, because you gotta hit hard and you gotta tank attacks. That's all you really need for Raging Bolt to do. Final Pokemon on this team is the Walking Wake with the booster energy, giving it a speed boost, as well as Photosynthesis, which can be utilized in the sun to get a speed boost, even if booster energy was consumed before or while sunlight is up. You have the Terra Ghost as the typing that can help out against Fake Out and Extreme Speed, and it does have the moveset of Hydro Steam, Draco Meteor, Sunny Day, and Protect. It's interesting to see booster energy on a team that already has sun, but the main idea of this Walking Wake, as you see with the Sunny Day tech, is you're not supposed to really lead it with sun, or you can of course, but the main idea of this Walking Wake is against those Rain Dance teams that usually run Prankster Rain Dance. You can go for Sunny Day with Walking Wake, and with that speed booster, you outspeed a lot of common Pokemon. You go for the Sunny Day, you get that sunlight up, so you counteract any Rain Dance that's priority, because the Sunny Day will move after a Prankster Rain Dance, and you have Sun Up, so you can actually power up your Raging Bolt, power up your Charizard, or just take less damage in general from those water type moves. And yes, this Walking Away can be a great combination into that. You have the Hydro Steam that's able to do a lot to Incineroar, and a good move in general with a water type move that's usable in Sun, which is great. Draco Meteor to be able to pressure the Miraidons, maybe some Urshifu and Kyogres, so you get a big hit off, and then Protect to keep itself around. EV Spread's pretty simple. Max speed with a Timid Nature to get the speed Photosynthesis, 244 special attack, so it's one stat point lower than its speed, so you always get that speed booster Photosynthesis, and then the remaining to go into HP, so you get a number divisible by 16 to get maximum grassy terrain recovery. Although I'm not sure most people are going to bring a Rillaboom into this kind of matchup. However, that is the case. So how to use the team. This team is a lot about dishing out a good amount of damage utilizing the sun with Groudon. You have the Coaching and Lilligant with the Chlorophyll that can definitely catch off guard and do a ton of damage with the high horsepower, the Heat Crash, the Earthquake with that Coaching boost. You also have the Entrainment to give it the Chlorophyll, and the Fog that can be interesting in some scenarios. You have the Charizard as well. That's an incredible wall breaker with its Heat Wave and Weather Balls, able to do a ton of damage in the sun. And you could even give it Chlorophyll if you really want to on the Charizard. It will trade the Solar Power, which can be a decent trade if you're able to like get a fast KO on Zamazenta or outspeed a Calyx Shadow Rider. That's surprising to them. So there are some tricks where you could utilize it there. Otherwise, you have the Trick Room Dialga and a slow Groudon, so you can utilize just going for Earthquakes and Discharges freely with the Raging Bolt next to the Telepathy Dialga and the Groudon. So there is a Trick Room route. And of course, the Walking Wake with the fast Sunny Day option can be a pretty fast factor with a Lilligant pair or a Charizard pair. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. And let me know in the comments down below what you feel about Hisuian, Lilligant, and Charizard in this format, because I haven't really seen it too much. I think Lilligant definitely has some offensive pressure that it can definitely utilize with Groudon. Charizard, we'll see how it goes, because I'm a bit skeptical, mainly because of its speed tier. It's not the greatest without some help with speed control, and the only speed control you really have on this team is Tailwind, so it's going to be a lot harder to set up Charizard for a really strong sweep or really heavy damage right off the bat. Calyx Ice Rider Miraidon with Cornerstone Ogerpon, Farigiraf, Iron Hands, and the Volcarona. Okay. If I can get rid of Miraidon, Charizard does a lot of damage, but there's the Cornerstone Ogerpon. The thing is, Charizard is so nice here. But I think I would probably want to lead Groudon Dialga. I think this is a game where I'd say, hey, Groudon Dialga puts in a lot of work. The reason I think it puts in a lot of work is because of the fact that Miraidon can only choose to Draco Meteor one of these mons. I think back-wise, they bring the Walking Wake. I don't think so. I think it's probably Lilligant and Charizard back. I don't really like Raging Bolt. because it only switches into electric type moves and it can't switch into everything else. Lilligant at least has a focus sash. Walking Wake, it pressures the Miraidon with Draco, but that's really it. Like, and if they Terra Fairy, which is very reasonable against a Groudon Sun team, then it's like, okay, I can Hydro Steam, but I'm not doing that much damage to the Miraidon, so I don't think it's ever worth. I don't even resist the attacks from the Calyrex Ice Rider as a water type, so I just don't think it's worth it. Okay, we see an interesting lead of Cornerstone Ogerpon plus the Calyrex Ice Rider, which is fine by me. Okay. This is probably a Terra Fire angle. Or this, no, this is just a protect and go for a Flash Cannon, I think, into the Calyrex Ice Rider. There is a world where Calyrex Ice Rider just goes for the Terra immediately, which is fine by me. I think they either Ivy Cudgel Glacial Lance here, or they might go for Power Whip. I don't think so. There's a follow me chance with Glacial, but that's all right. We do see the Terra come out, which, I mean, Miraidon can't Terra anymore, so that's kind of big. Into the water typing. Okay. I gotta think about how the next turns are gonna play out. We protect the Groudon. Kind of wish I Dragon Pulse. They did Ivy Cudgel the Groudon, which makes sense. Flash Cannon. Actually does some decent damage to Calyrex Ice Rider. Glacial Lance fired off, yeah. Luckily, the Dialga is bulky enough to tank the attacks. I think I have a pretty good setup, actually. I think we sack Charizard here. Will this work? I think it does. Okay, I think I Flash Cannon into Ogerpon. Actually, no, I Dragon Pulse the Calyrex Ice Rider. I think I have a good setup here. Let's see. Because by sacking the Charizard, I think I have an ideal solution. It's not ideal if I don't time this right, but we'll see. Bring out the Charizard. Sacking it to the Ivy Cudgel, which I don't care about. And I'm hoping that Dialga goes down to single target Glacial Lance, so I can bring a Lilligant plus the Groudon, and then I can go for a Coaching Earthquake, hopefully. And KO the Calyrex Ice Rider. All right. Okay. Although I don't know if this actually works. If I had Precious Blade, actually, if I had Precious Blade, it'd be so much easier. Earthquake is not great here. All right, we bring out the Lilligant and we bring out the Groudon. We're gonna go for Coaching and a Earthquake. Yeah. Actually, this would be so ideal if they protect. Yeah, follow me to avoid the Sleep Powder. That makes sense to me. I get the Coaching off. The next turn is going to be a Mind Game. The next turn is the Mind Game, I think. I get the Earthquake off into the Calyrex Ice Rider, my own Lilligant, and Ogerpon. Calyrex Ice Rider goes down. And now it's going to come down to how well I can position this. Like, this Mind Game between Miraidon and Groudon is huge. So this should be Miraidon. If you go Iron Hands, that's a major toss. And I hope you do it. I actually hope you do it. Go Iron Hands here. Go Iron Hands here. Is Miraidon. Yeah, that's to be expected. Okay, they can only lock into one move. They probably always follow me anyway, because they have to worry about after you. They probably click follow me Draco here. So I always go for the close combat into Ogerpon and I protect my Groudon. The question is, who is their last Pokemon is going to be a big factor. I don't think they have a safe scouting option unless they want to Volt Switch my Lilligant, but I don't think you ever Volt Switch. Actually, I think I should have high horsepowered. They might actually just go for Volt Switch and a Lilligant because that would actually make a lot of sense now that I think about it. Because if I Terra Groudon, it'd probably be now, right? So you could scout for the Terra. I get the K on Ogerpon. They click follow me. Could I have just Entrainment, Earthquake, and won? It did Draco Meteor though. Okay. Who's the last? Who's the last? Who is the last? Who is the last? That's Iron Hands. I think I gotta hope for a throw here. I think I gotta hope for a throw. What's sad is this play only works on this turn too. Yeah, I need the damage on both Cornerstone and the Miraidon. I think I needed to Flash Cannon to Ogerpon turn 1 and then Dragon Pulse turn 2. Please fake out the Lilligant because you hope that I'm Covert Cloak Groudon? They should really just fake out Draco Meteor. Duh. Well, the thing is, if I get double protect and I close combat the Miraidon, then they lose, right? Let's see. Please, please, please. Please hit this one move. I didn't Earthquake here because I was like... Did I Earthquake or did I high horsepower? I high horsepower, right? I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, it was Scarf Miraidon. That mon is so bad. That damage is so bad. Okay. We have a guaranteed safe win con of going for detect plus or going for protect plus coaching. Oh, the fact that it was Scarf was big. Well, the thing is, if it was Scarf, it outsped my Groudon. But if it was in Scarf, like Groudon outsped, so it kind of needed that. But at the same time, thankfully that didn't KO the Groudon. I get a coaching off as I go for Drain Punch into the Groudon. I mean, they're still hoping that I miss a move, right? I could go for the Earthquake right now, but we have Defog and high horsepower double up. That is exactly what we're going to aim for here. Defog plus high horsepower gets the KO into Iron Hands. Oh my goodness. They were scared about the close combat and protect my Groudon play, because if I get the double with my Groudon, they do lose the game because the fact that they didn't outspeed. But yeah, that works out perfectly. Okay, cool. My horsepower is going to finish off the Iron Hands, and that is good. Oh my goodness. I guess I could have defogged as well, get rid of the electric terrain. The thing is, I thought it was Spec, so I thought the Draco Meteor was going to KO anyway, but that just worked out. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that. I cannot believe I won that. Entity, Dialga, regular Dialga, Urshifu, Kyogre, Amoonguss, and Ursaluna. Huh. Alright. They do not like Charizard. If I get Charizard in, Heat Wave is threatening a ton of damage. I do like Charizard Walking Way. Yeah, Charizard plus, or not Walking Way. Do I want to leave Walking Wake actually? Because I could just Sunny Day and Heat Wave and not have to risk switching Groudon. Do I need my own Dialga? It's decent against this team. It's not necessary though. I think I'm gonna do Walking Wake plus Charizard. I like the idea of Sunny Day just blowing through a team. Groudon in the back. Raging Bolt, I think. Because even though I could have a cool Dialga versus Dialga kind of moment, it just seems a bit strange into this team because I think my other Pokemon do better. Like a Heat Wave is just going to do so much damage at the start of this game. Plus the fact that I think consistently Sunny Day Wake is one of the best options here. We're going to see Dialga plus the Indy lead, which is perfectly fine by me. Okay. Ooh, Psychic Seed Dialga. That's cool. That is cool. All right, I still don't mind that realistically. I'm just gonna Sunny Day and click Heat Wave. Yeah, I don't see a problem with Sunny Day and Heat Wave. Follow me, Trick Room. Yep, the staple here, which is cool by me. See how much damage we're able to do. I mean, we just OHKO'd to Entity, and that actually still did a ton of damage to Dialga, so I'm pretty pleased about that. I'd say. Trick comes out, okay. All right, then next Pokemon, probably the Kyogre coming in. The only unfortunate part is I don't have a way to get rid of terrain. So that's a bit unfortunate, but there should be Kyogre coming in for Water Spouts. They could go Ursaluna, which is fair by me, but if they want to go Ursaluna, I'm just probably going to get another knockout. They do go Ursaluna. I don't need my Terra and Groudon, and I don't need my Terra on Raging Bolt. I think it's Terra, my Walking Wake, and just Hydro Steam. And I'm going to fire off a Weather Ball into the Dialga so I can't miss. I think that's fine. Because I wonder if they expect Terra Ghost Wake. I mean, at Long Rush, I think we could survive. A Dragon move from the Dialga, I think we can survive since they don't have the boost from like an Adamant Orb or Adamant Crystal. But let's see. They just fist out the Charizard, which is cool. Yep. A Draco Meteor. I should survive one. Invisible Focus Sash. That actually did a bit more than I thought. Okay, perfect. I get the Weather Ball off into the Dialga, pick up the knockout with a critical hit. It does not matter. It's actually funny because if I just clicked Heat Wave and was willing to risk it, I would have won anyway. But like, that's funny. That's funny. As we are able to get a Hydro Steam as well into the Ursaluna. That didn't pick up the knockout, actually. That is a Sun boosted Hydro Steam. But they go down the next turn when I double protect, so it doesn't matter anyway. Unless they have some kind of crazy tech move. Kyogre going to come in, but it is now trapped in this position where all I have to do is just click a double protect. I want to keep Charizard for the end game. It doesn't do much right now. I want to keep Groudon healthy, and I don't need to sack health on Raging Bolt. So I just sack these Pokemon. I just keep going for protects. The only way this could get a bit scary is if the Kyogre has Calm Mind on this team. Although I don't think this team should run Calm Mind. However, yeah, like at this point, just double protect. It's very safe. They don't really have an opportunity to win here. When I have Raging Bolt plus Groudon that's able to come in and fire some heavy damage. Maybe if the Kyogre is like Ice Beam crit, because they still have Terra available. They have high horsepower over the... Okay, they have high horsepower over Headlong Rush. Interesting. Or maybe Earthquake. Water Spout. I mean, I just spam protects until I get something in for free. They survive this burn tick? No, they don't. So the Ursaluna goes down. Kyogre versus the world. Not really much to say here. I just go for a... Yeah, there's 2 turns of Trick Room. And Trick Room might even benefit me. I don't know who's faster between the Raging Bolt, the Groudon, and the Kyogre. But yeah, we're just going to spam protects. It doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah. We fail both of them, which is cool because we just bring in our Groudon next to Raging Bolt under the sun. And yeah, let's have some sunshine come out here because the Charizard kind of brought a drought. Then there is the... Or a heat wave, I should say. Then they brought out some rain. And now I think it's time for some clear sunny skies. So bring out the Groudon, bring out the what's it called, the Raging Bolt, and we click discharge into or high horsepower, I think. Yeah, because if they do have Ice Beam and they go for a crit, I mean, it shouldn't knock out Raging Bolt in one, so I think it's okay to go for just a high horsepower here. And they go for Water Spout, like the Raging Bolt is just in such a safe spot at this point. Now gonna be forfeited. Yep. Nice. Nice. Psychic Seed Dialga, that's cool. But Charizard is just such a big wall breaker. With Solar Power Life Orb, we still did like, what, 60%? And then, I mean, if I clicked Heat Wave turn 2, the game was over. I'm really surprised they wrist staff. But yeah, I was just able to do a ton of damage. And the Terra Ghost, I'm still shocked that the Draco Meteor came as close as it did. Because I know Dialga has a high special attack stat. But it's... Walking Wake's not the frailest Pokemon ever, so I'm still surprised it did that much, but at least I got the heavy damage, which is what I needed. Miraidon, Oranguru, Groudon, Raging Bolt, Iron Hands, and Lilligant. It's actually kind of funny because it's like pretty similar concepts, but the problem is I am not that fast with this team, and it's not really green to Miraidon. So although I don't know if this is like the Covert Cloak pass with the Oranguru, which actually would make this so much easier, because if it is, then like my Groudon doesn't have to fear nearly as much. Lilligant Groudon's looking like my best lead realistically. I don't really see much of a lead that I really want to go for otherwise. They're also pretty weak to Groudon on their team other than their own Lilligant, so it's really going to come down to some Lilligant plays, but in general I think Lilligant plus Groudon is good. The rest, that's the tricky part. I don't know if I think I bring Charizard, since having a ground immunity is actually good, and I think Walking Wake, because I want Walking Wake so I can actually go for like Draco Meteor into their Miraidon if it's not a Calm Mind setup like team. Although I really can't tell with this team. I just can't tell. This might not even be Symbiosis on the Oranguru. I'm used to Symbiosis, but if it's not Symbiosis, we'll see. Ideally, we can just go for coaching stuff. Get coaching up and be in a good time. But right on Oranguru. Okay, this could be a really good setup here. Let's see. I don't have P-Blades, unfortunately, which would be really nice here. All right, Electric Seed is Electric Seed. Okay, perfect. All right, so we can go for coaching immediately, and we can go for Heat Crash, knock out the Oranguru, I think. Yeah, I think we go for Heat Crash into Oranguru, and we go for coaching. They didn't Terra? Okay. Are they going to Calm Mind, or are they going to attack immediately? So Electric Seed Draco Meteor? I also didn't KO Oranguru. What? It's Electric Seed. You never see Draco Meteor. Dragon Pulse would have made sense. All right. Probably want to get Charizard in. I am shocked by that, but all right. We could still win. Realistically, we can still win by getting damage into Miraidon. Yeah, it's definitely possible. I'm gonna go for a Heat Wave in the Sun, which is gonna do a lot of damage, and we're gonna go for close combat into the Miraidon for damage. They're -4. I don't know if they want to stay in, but we'll see. They haven't gotten any damage to Lilligant, so I do have a Sash available, which is good. They still have access to Terra though, but luckily I still have Waken to back to take on the Groudon, which is actually kind of important. If they switch out to Miraidon, they lose their defense boost. But if they stay in, it's fine. We're going to switch out. So whatever's coming in is getting sacked here. Iron Hands, that is going down to Heat Wave plus an attack. So that's okay. Trying to figure out how this end game's gonna work. I need to hit both Heat Waves too. If I miss both Heat Waves, it's game over. But we'll see. Okay, Terra Grass. Comes close combat. Good damage to Iron Hands. Okay. Heat Wave. Beautiful. We don't KO the Iron Hands, but I think that's all right. It's not great actually, but it's playable. So this is Miraidon coming in, unless you're going Groudon. I think you always go Miraidon here. Oh, Groudon came out. All right. I want to say this is okay. This is probably fake out in a Lilligant, which is cool by me. I'm going to go Walking Wake. I'm going to go Walking Wake, go for Hydro Steam, next turn into Groudon and click Heat Wave. And I think I'm in a good spot. Because Walking Wake doesn't have to be healthy. It just has to be around to win the game. We see a Terra involved. This is probably the Groudon. Yep. Hydro Steam KO's Groudon, right? I guess maybe if it's a Solvest Groudon, I might not KO. Goes for the Terrifier, which makes sense. This is probably fake out in a Lilligant and like some attack from the Groudon. Probably he crashed. They could go for Precipice Blades, which is fair. But we will protect our Charizard. But they can't Terra the Miraidon, so they're actually vulnerable to Draco Meteor now, which is perfect. So they fake out my Wake. And then he crashed what was my Lilligant slot. Okay, so even though this was a terrible start, it's looking up. It is looking very up. Granted, we still have to KO the Groudon here with Hydro Steam into Heat Wave. So this is Assault Vest Groudon. This is still very tricky. But we're going to see the swap here into Miraidon. Ooh, good play. Does this protect? Yeah, good play on their part. Okay. Good play on their part. As we go for the Hydro Steam. How much does Heat Wave do? That's my question. How much does Heat Wave do? Don't miss the Miraidon. I needed to two-shot this Miraidon. All right. That's really bad. That is horrendous bad. If you're my opponent, I would probably just sack the Iron Hands in the back. You don't even have to do that anymore. The thing is, if I hit the Heat Wave and Miraidon, I think it forces the Iron Hand sack now. But I don't think that's possible anymore. I'm going to go for Heat Wave and I'm going to go for Protect with my Wake. Yep, they sacked the Groudon. Okay, good. This is Iron Hands. And then they should be trying to take the knockout on Wake because Wake is a threat. Okay. So we protect our Wake here. Parabolic Charge. All right, that's fine. That shouldn't KO Charizard. Not even close. I don't even know if that would have KO'd my Wake. Okay. They also KO'd their own Iron Hands. So I guess single target Heat Wave off now. I had to go for Heat Wave to cover for the Iron Hand switch. Heat Wave going to come out. Good damage to Miraidon. All right. Sun fades, but it's about to get reset. Photosynthesis wears off, but I do have boost energy active, but also someone's going to be back up. It's not over. It's much better. It's not over. We saw the ground have protect, so it's not Assault Vest. So I should be able to go for Weather Ball in the 2 close combats to finish this this Miraidon off. So we're gonna go for a Weather Ball into the Groudon. Just hit this Draco Meteor, man. Just hit this Draco Meteor. They don't protect, which is fair. Draco Meteor comes out, knocks out the Miraidon. Perfect. Okay. And we get a Weather Ball. If we don't get the Weather Ball off and they hit both blades, it's actually bad. But yeah, I did think Charizard was probably faster. Weather Ball into Groudon. That's good damage. Missed blades. And they missed blades as well. They missed a Wake. Yeah, they missed a Wake. They needed to hit the Wake there. Charizard didn't matter because it was going down to Solar Power regardless. But I think I still win because Lilligant didn't lose its Focus Sash. So I get 2 close combats off into Groudon. And because I had 2 Focus Sashes into my... I had a Focus Sash on my Lilligant. I live 2 hits guaranteed. So unless they like have Fire Punch and Fire Punch burn me or something crazy like that, then it was just guaranteed win for me regardless. So go for close combat, go for Hydro Steam. But I cannot believe I came back from that because I was not expecting the Draco Meteor turn 1 into my Groudon into an Instruct Draco Meteor again to KO it. So shocked? Absolutely. Relieved? Yes. Because that got really bad losing my Groudon turn 1 for not even KOing the Oranguru, which I guess I could have Terra Fired, but I didn't think I needed to Terra Fire. I thought +1 Heat Crash was going to KO, but apparently not. Calyx, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Clefairy, and a Suicune. Suicune, okay. I don't know if we'll see it here because it's the Sun team, but sure. I do really like the Lilligant plus the Groudon combination, although there is a bit of a problem. I think this is probably Nasty Plot Calyx if you're running Lilligant, if you're running Clefairy. I think Groudon makes sense with Lilligant, and then in the back Raging Bolt Charizard. I don't really need the Dialga, it doesn't really accomplish much. I don't think I really need Walking Wake either, although I guess Terra Dragon Zamazenta could be kind of annoying to the team. But a lot of this game plan is going to be trying to rely on Raging Bolt and the Groudon to do the most damage. Charizard can clean up, but it's a bit difficult when the restrictors are pretty fast. However, we can set up for it accordingly if possible. We're going to see the lead of the Calyx Clefairy. Okay, so this actually works out pretty well for me. Okay. Versus Lilligant Groudon. Now, I wish I had Precipice Blades. That's the only downside here, is Precipice Blades would help out so much in this position. But we are going to go for a coaching with our Groudon, or into the Groudon with our Lilligant. And we're going to go for a Heat Crash, and we're going to target down the Calyx in case of Protect Clefairy, but they do go for a Follow Me, which is fine. This is probably Nasty Plot. As we do get the coaching off. Beautiful. I'm hoping to put the Clefairy into range of this, so let's see. Astral Barrage is fine too. Okay. Nice. Heat Crash gonna come out. That's also not max special attack Calyx. We are able to one-shot the Clefairy, so that's a pretty nice knockout right there. Okay, awesome. So Clefairy goes down. I imagine whatever's coming in, probably like an Intimidate Mon. Yep, like Incineroar, for instance, which is cool. And the question is, do you Nasty Plot this time around? Now, I do have Terra Ghost. So I could go for Terra Ghost, but I don't know if they fake out the Groudon. I don't think that's ever worth it. I think my best play is just to go Raging Bolt and save the Lilligant for later, as well as just protect the Groudon. Because they could fake out the Groudon and risk the Sleep Powder, which I think is really unlikely, but it's definitely a possibility. But I like the idea of just getting a Raging Bolt, because Raging Bolt is safe into an Astral Barrage thanks to the Assault Vest. We're taking it pretty decently. And we could threaten High Horsepower and Snarls afterward, and I think that's more consistent. So bring out the Raging Bolt. I wish I had Precipice Blades. I would have went for it, but don't have Precipice Blades on the Groudon. We will bring the Special Attack Raise with the Sun, activating the Photosynthesis. Protect on the Groudon here, as they do fake out the Lilligant, which is fine. Because I don't even know +1 High Horsepower would knock out the Calyx. I guess I could have went for like Terrifier Heat Crash, but not exactly 100%. Yeah, like Raging Bolt takes that extremely well. I think this is just such a safe play to click Snarl here and a high horsepower. I could also go for Discharge. Discharge is kind of tempting. I kind of like the idea of going for Discharge more than Snarl, because if I get the pair on Calyx or whatever comes in, that's really ideal. So I'm gonna go for high horsepower. Discharge, I expect okay, we don't see Protect. Okay. Oh, this might be Terra Ghost actually on the Incineroar. Okay, if I was Terra Ghost Calyx for Astral Barrage, they go for the Terra Bug, which does make sense. Okay, so that means I don't have to worry about Terra from the Zamazenta, which is huge, and the Calyx Protect, so I do get that read right. I did think that a more defensive Calyx, because it wasn't max invested, was probably going to be less likely to have a Terra Ghost, but that was an option I forgot to consider. But I still think that I would still go for the Discharge play, and it worked out here. So Discharge going to come out. Good damage to Incineroar. That's actually really good damage, and the paralysis, which is pretty nice. Let's see if it's going to work out for us. Yep, it is. Very cool. Very cool. I don't see a reason not to go for Snarl and Heat Crash here into the Calyx. Although, if I don't have the Sun, the Zamazenta becomes a bit of a pain to handle. So I think I'm just going to protect the... Do I want to greed this here? I mean, I greeted it last turn, so I think I should greed this. I think I can still win the game without stun up, so I think this is okay. We're going to see Incineroar retreat into Zamazenta. Okay. Are they going for a double protect with Calyx, or are they just going on the aggressive here? That is risky too, because I got just discharged, and they would have been in a very bad situation. We're going to see the Astral Barrage come out. Okay, yeah, Groudon survives the next one, which is what I expected. Heat Crash going to come out. Does this KO Calyx? It does just KO Calyx, which is great. Okay, so Calyx goes down, and I feel that Charizard just wins. They go for the Snarl. Nice. Yeah, this is a perfect spot, because now they're going to bring in Incineroar. Incineroar is fine here. I will probably have to sack Lilligant at some point in this game. They're probably just going to fake out the ground and body press the Raging Bolt. So I think my best play is just to Thunderclap the Zamazenta to get damage and go out into Lilligant. Because I do want to reset the Sun, so I have Weather Ball on deck for the Zama, so I can win the game that way. So bring out the Lilligant on Fake Out. Yep. Beautiful. And the Thunderclap damage into Zama. Excellent. Body Press going to KO my Raging Bolt, but I think this is a perfect endgame position, because now I can go for, yep, Sun Fade. So now I have the perfect opportunity to get Groudon in, and I can go for a Heat Crash, and I can go for an Entrainment to KO the Incineroar. And once Incineroar goes down, I'm pretty sure Charizard just wins. So we'll go for a Heat Crash into the Incineroar, and we'll go for a Terra Ghost with Lilligant, because I think Lilligant Terra Ghost is more important here. Yeah, because I can go for an Entrainment into the Groudon. Yeah. So we're going to Terra Ghost. We don't need Terra Grass on our Charizard. It does absolutely nothing in this matchup. Bring out the Terra Ghost Lilligant. We get the Entrainment off into the Groudon, and then we can Heat Crash, pick up the knockout into Incineroar, and that will guarantee the win. And if they Wide Guard, even better. Even better. Because here's the Entrainment. I mean, it didn't really matter now. It really didn't matter. They were hoping to catch a Precipice Blades. I do not have Precipice Blades, unfortunately. So I will go for a Heat Crash into the Incineroar to pick up the knockout. And now I should be able to win by going for Defog plus high horsepower. Yeah, I'm just going to go for Defog plus high horsepower. Because we get the guarantee accuracy, or we get the guarantee evasion drop on the Zamazenta, which means it cannot dodge my attack. So I always am guaranteed to land a Heat Wave eventually in the Zamazenta to win the game. So yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. I was that close combat, but I just needed to damage into the Zama, and realistically, Defog was the correct endgame play. even though we didn't get to see it. So nice. Nice. Zacian, Koraidon, Xianpao, Brute Bonnet, Galarian, Weezing, and Tinglu. Okay. Not having abilities is really bad. Okay, Weezing stuff. How do I perform against this? Alright, I think I have a plan against this, but it's gonna be Lilligant, Groudon. Lilligant, Groudon does make the most sense to me. Back answer, do I bring the Dialga? That's the question. I don't even know if Dialga is good. I do want to bring Charizard. I think it's Charizard Walking Wake. Because I need speed against this team more than anything, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like Hydro Steam will be pretty big if I have booster energy available. I like the idea of having Groudon because of the idea of Lilligant coaching is still pretty good against this team across the board. And if they bring their Sun mode, I mean, it doesn't really affect anything because I can't use my abilities, but let's see. What are they going to lead here? Koraidon, Brute Bonnet. Okay, that's fine by me. Versus Lilligant, Groudon. This is a pretty safe coaching in Heat Crash, I think. Yeah, I like the idea of coaching. How heavy is Brute Bonnet, actually? I don't think it's that heavy. But I do like the idea of setting up a coaching and going for a Heat Crash. Yes. I think they don't like the thing is Lilligant, if I had Sleep Powder, is threatening the Sleep Powder. They gotta be a bit fearful of that. Although I don't think Bonnet can really do much. So kind of curious if Koraidon will just go for attacks to take a potential sleep turn immediately. Or will they play passive here? Because I don't really think you have the ability to play passive, but we'll see. Terra coming out. Is this Bonnet? Alright. Terra Water, that makes sense. Okay. That means Koraidon has less damage up, but they go for a Protect actually with Koraidon. Interesting. Okay. As we get a coaching off with our Groudon. So the thing is, if they're playing passive, a lot of their attackers are physical. So if my Groudon can just go for damage, then that's perfectly acceptable. Here comes a Heat Crash. Big damage to Bonnet. Spore. All right. I mean, what's stopping me from going for coaching and a Terra Fire? I don't see anything stopping Terra Fire Groudon from sweeping, I think, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to go for coaching again. And we're going to go for Terra Fire and attempt a high horsepower, I suppose. If they keep Lilligant around, I can then go for a Entrainment onto my Groudon. And if Sun is up for the remainder of the game with Chlorophyll, because I can go for a Sunny Day with Wake, Groudon will outspeed and go for Earthquake and should be able to clean up the entire team. Especially since they use Terra on the Bonnet. So all I have to do is hope that Groudon makes it through the turns. And then I'm fine. And if you're turning my Lilligant, that means my Groudon is healthy, which means it's still really hard for you to get rid of. So we go for the Terra Fire with the Groudon. We go for a coaching. That's +2 defense Groudon, which is massive. Are you doubling up the Lilligant? You go for close combat? Sure. Yeah, as you can see, it just does no damage. It probably a Seed Bomb as well, since they kind of need the damage early on. Yep, perfect. And it does absolutely nothing. I think we go for one more. Do we need one more actually, or should I just Entrainment? I think I just Entrainment to Groudon and go for Earthquake at this point. Yeah. They're gonna retreat the Bonnet, which actually works because that's less turns that they're really getting into my attacker. They're gonna go POW. That makes sense. Okay, so close combat does more. Sure. If we wake up here, we instant win, I think. But let's see. We do get the Entrainment into the Groudon. So now we have Chlorophyll Groudon on deck. Unfortunately, we take another turn to sleep. All right. Scale Shot. All right. Oh, wait, it's loaded dice. Huh. Is this just going to come down to sleep turns? I think it is just going to come down to sleep turns. I don't think we're in Sucker Punch range. Unless this is Life Orb POW. Actually, can I just close combat the Charizard and protect? I think I can. I'm like pretty confident I can. And I am just going to. Because I outspeed the Charizard. The Charizard is -3, and then this is Sword of Ruin on top of that. I think close combat KOs the Charizard. We do wake up with Groudon, which is great. We do get a protect off. But more importantly, we do get the knockout into the Charizard. Yep. So Charizard goes down. They actually decided, hey, I'm going to attack with the POW. Is this Sacred Sword? That makes sense. Throat Chop. No, they don't have Sacred Sword. Okay. That's pretty big. I don't know Sucker. I just don't think Sucker Punch KOs if it's Sash POW. They probably go Bonnet and go for a double Sucker. That's what I would expect here. Yep. I think you have to go for a double Sucker too, because I don't see what else you have here. I think I want... I'm debating here. Debating this a lot. Can I Entrainment the Sword of Ruin away? I think that's a play, actually. Entrainment. Go for another protect. Because I do think you go for double Sucker here. I really do think you do. Okay. That works. That works, technically. It's not what I anticipated, but that works. Their last Pokemon's probably Zacian. I gotta think about this a little bit carefully. I think I just go for the KO and the POW, though. Actually, I should get damage on the Bonnet, because I need damage on the Bonnet, I think, a bit more. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get damage on the Bonnet. I'm gonna go for close combat to Bonnet. And I think be high horsepower to Bonnet too. That works out amazing for me. That works out for amazing for me. Assuming we land, of course. This combat does a good amount of damage to Bonnet. They didn't double the Groudon. I thought they were going to Sucker Punch Throat Chop, but that works. By Bonnet. Alright. I just need Sun back up and I win. How do I get Sun up? I sack Lilligant here. Or can I just go hard in? There might be a world I can just go hard into. I think I do go hard into. I'm going to go hard into Walking Wake Protect. Yes. Because there's no world, I think, where they go for a Play Rough into Wake. Or double the Wake. I don't think there's ever a world you do that. So I'm bringing the Wake that has the booster energy. That's booster speed. And now I will be faster than both of these Pokemon and can go for a Sunny Day Earthquake the next turn. Ice Shard is fine. They reveal Sacred Sword. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking here. Okay, perfect. So let's see if they Sucker Punch or not. Because if they don't Sucker Punch, they just instant lose. But I'm going to go for Sunny Day and I'm going to go for Earthquake. And then it's going to be a bit of a mind game. I mean, if they protect and they throw Chop, it kind of depends on how much damage they're doing to the Groudon. I still don't think they KO the Groudon with Sucker, at least. But yeah, we're gonna go for Sunny Day, get our Chlorophyll, and Earthquake, because the speed order should be Wake, then the Sun goes up, then Groudon, and click Earthquake. Perfect. Perfect. And Earthquake is gonna go off, KO to Zacian. Zacian goes down. They Terra to Bonnet, so I guarantee win here, because they don't have access to Terra Ghost on POW. Zacian goes down. Where are they going for? A Draw Chop? Oh, Ice Spinner. Here's the thing. Draw Chop would have done double the damage, right? At Ice Spinner, since it was resisted. A Draw Chop didn't KO for sure, because I had too much health. Yeah. Also, I should not have brought out Charizard. It doesn't really change anything, because I can go for Weather Ball, and I can go for a Earthquake and seal up the win here. I'm gonna be forfeited. Whew, okay. It's still scary. We did have to play through sleep turns. But fortunately, we were able to get some pretty good turns off. And yeah, I'm still shocked that they didn't double the Groudon on that one turn with Sucker Punch plus Throat Chop, but hey, you know what? I'll take it. It worked out. Koraidon, Lunala, Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, Brubonnet, and Ursaluna. All right. How do I want to go with this one? Groudon can be good. Lilligant is good because coaching is pretty strong here. I think I do want to go with Lilligant Groudon. I think Lilligant Groudon's pretty good. In the back, I don't really like Dialga. I can't do much against this team. I think it's like Raging Bolt plus the Charizard. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. We'll figure this out as we go along, because I think Lilligant Groudon just provides the most utility against this team. I do have... do I want to go for coaching, or do I want to go for... Actually, I'm trying to figure this out. We're going to see Koraidon plus Brubonnet lead. Okay. Versus Lilligant plus Groudon. Perfect. I'm just going to go for coaching with my Groudon. And I think we're going to go for Protect, because I want to scout for the Bonnet Terra, because I'm getting deja vu here and don't want to fall for the same trick twice, especially when I actually need help on the Groudon this time. So let's get a coaching off. We see a Terra come out. This is probably the Bonnet. Yeah, it's the Bonnet. Perfect. Terra Water. Okay. So this works out pretty well for us. Koraidon didn't Protect to avoid Sleep Powder, so I wonder, are they Flame Charging? We do get the coaching. Who do I have to get rid of? The Bonnet or the Koraidon? Flame Charge does come out of Lilligant. That makes sense. Lilligant's still going to be faster than the Koraidon, I think, at least. It's not Life Orb. It goes for Spore. Yeah, that's what we expect. Okay. If we get rid of Koraidon, our Raging Bolt is fantastic here. I do outspeed Koraidon with Chlorophyll, so I can go for coaching and Earthquake here, and that's pretty good damage. All right, second layer of coaching up. I don't think the entrainment's necessary at the moment. I just need Earthquake damage, realistically. I go for Collision Course. Okay, so I went for high horsepower because I'm KOing my own Lilligant, unfortunately. It does no damage to my Groudon. Earthquake should do a good amount of damage, though, to both. A lot less to Brubonnet than expected, but Lilligant goes down. We're going to see the Spore come out. We saw Flame Charge, so this isn't Scale Shot on the Koraidon. This is a pretty safe. I get to bring out my Raging Bolt, click Discharge. And thanks to Discharge, I'll probably be in a good spot. Because they still can't do damage to my Groudon at the moment, which is kind of the massive part. So we're going to go for a Discharge, and we're going to just burn a turn of sleep. They might have Ursaluna and go into Ursaluna, but they also have Draco Meteor the next turn, and the thing is, if they keep switching, they're not getting much accomplished. Like, the thing is, as long as Lunala's not on the board, they can't damage my Groudon for heavy damage. They already used their Terra, so they can't tear out of any weaknesses. We are going to see the switch here. Is this Ursaluna? It is Ursaluna. Fair play. Collision Course. That's fine. As long as I'm not in Sucker Punch range, I think that's all right. We do take our first turn of sleep. We do get the Discharge off. We don't KO the Koraidon, which I was hoping to get the KO there. This Pokemon should be Lunala. I think they have to attack with Koraidon, because if they don't attack with Koraidon and I Draco Meteor or Ursaluna with the attack, I think it's a really bad spot for them. So we're going to high horsepower and we're going to Thunderclap. I don't know. I don't think it's ever worth risking. I think you have to attack here. I think you go for both attacks because I just don't think you can ever risk me getting a prediction right and you losing on the spot. I think you should take the trade here. It's like Koraidon's not really doing anything in this end game anyway, so it's like, why even bother keeping it around? Well, they do retreat it, which is, I guess, okay. I mean, I don't mind this because they bring out Bonnet, but the thing is, Charizard gets to come in for free. Like, I still have turns of sleep turns that I'm just building up, which is cool. Does I Thunderclap fail? Do I wake up? If I wake up, I'm in a great spot. I'm fast asleep, unfortunate. I mean, sure, you can take the knockout on the Raging Bull, but at this point, like, Charizard gets to come in. I'm still really worried about Lunala, though. I'm still very worried about Lunala. But yeah, we do bring out the Charizard. The thing is, the fact that they kept Koraidon around means that the sun is going to be reset, which is really good for my Charizard, at least. I think this is just a don't take 3 turns of sleep angle. I think that's basically it. So we're going to go for Earthquake and Heat Wave. Let's see. They protect, which is cool. I mean, that means Groudon guarantee wakes up, so that's nice. Assuming we don't take 3 turns of sleep, but I would like to KO the Bonnet before a Spore happens to Charizard. Otherwise, I have to play sleep turns with the Charizard. Okay, really good. Really good. Here comes Earthquake. Goodbye, Amoonguss. Nice. Is there a Terra that helps me win the game guaranteed? I don't think so. Sunlight Phase, which means my Charizard's doing less, but they still have the Koraidon on the back, so this is fine. High horsepower at +2. Would that knock out Ursaluna? I want to say yes. If they go Koraidon, I think I just attack. They should bring out Lunala here. The question is, do they wide guard or not? Yeah, here comes Lunala. Can I just Heat Wave high horsepower KO to Lunala? Or Heat Crash with KO Lunala? They don't usually run Protect. I am +2, so I think I live a Facade from Ursaluna. If I Terra Fire, I'd say yes. I'm not gonna Headlong Rush. I always Facade. I think I go for Terra Fire Heat Crash. This could be a mistake because they could wide guard here. They could wide guard. Maybe I should have just high horsepowered Ursaluna and went for Heat Wave. Okay, they don't though. I got a Heat Wave off. That's really good damage in Ursaluna still, actually. And this should KO to Lunala. That looks like it went for Trick Room. Beautiful. So Lunala goes down. Who did Ursaluna target? If they targeted my Charizard, it's good game. They targeted my Charizard. Beautiful. Oh, okay. That's kind of what I expected to happen. Excellent. This also covered if they, for some reason, went Koraidon for the Ursaluna and tried to get Trick Room up. Because as long as I don't let Trick Room up, I win the game. But yeah, perfect. Koraidon comes in. I guess Collision Course crit can still happen, but I don't think that KOs Groudon. I really don't. We're +2 defense right now with +2 attack. We have Earthquake, so we can never miss here. So let's see if this works out. Collision Course gonna come out from the Koraidon. It does not get the KO. Earthquake finishes off the Ursaluna and the Koraidon, and Groudon, the monster, finishes off the game. So really, really nice there. We were able to get a ton of damage utilizing the Groudon. Thankfully, didn't take the 3 turns because I think we took 2. If we took 3, it was really awful because the Bonnet got a Spore off, and that means I wouldn't have broken Shadow Shield with my Charizard. So there was some RNG involved, but hey, at the end of the day, that's how it goes sometimes. Like, Groudon was able to thankfully come through and take the win. Tornadus, Calyx, Ice Rider, Raichu, Kyogre, Landorus Incarnate, and Urshifu. Alright, we have a Weather War, which I don't exactly love, but it's not terrible, I suppose. They do have a Raichu, which makes it difficult for my Raging Bolt to beat the Trick Room mode. They also have the Landorus Incarnate, so it makes it really tough. I think I'm going to go with Walking Wake since I do have Sunny Day, which is pretty nice with that booster energy. Is actually kind of massive. What would I want to pair with it though? I'd probably want Walking Wake. I think Walking Wake Dialga is really good. Like, Dialga itself is really good, and Walking Wake's already good into Landorus, so I do like that combo. I want to bring Charizard just so I can beat the... You know what? I'm going to bring Charizard. Charizard Groudon. I am okay with running Charizard because Heat Wave will do a ton of damage across the board. I'm kind of curious on what they bring though, because they can only bring 4 Pokemon. And I assume the Tornadus... I mean, I want to KO the Tornadus as quick as possible. Maybe with the Draco Meteor right off the bat. Because if we are to carry... Oh, Tornadus. It's probably the Rain Dance Pokemon. So I would really love to KO Tornadus immediately. As well as Landorus. Landorus is a threat. But there's just so much. I don't know what Terra we'd go for. But we'll see. It's going to be the lead of Tornadus Landorus. That's not too surprising as we lead the Walking Wake into Dialga. I think this is pretty okay. Get the booster energy on my Wake here for my speed, so they will have to go for Tailwind with Tornadus if they want to outspeed with the Landorus. I'm just gonna go for a... Do I want to go for Trick Room immediately or not? Because they do have a Cali Ice, and I don't want Cali Ice to be too threatening yet. I think my best play is just to Hydro Steam the Landorus and... Well, would they Sans here Storm is the question. I don't think they would, right? They could Earth Power. I think I want to go Charizard. Because I think you would Tailwind Earth Power, you protect Tailwind. I think those are your most likely moves here. I don't think you protect Bleak Wind ever, because I don't think that really helps out here. I'm gonna bring out the Charizard. Let's see if we get anything correct. Landorus does protect, so that's fine. Okay. Oh, they Rain Dance immediately. Not expected that one. Okay, that's fine. Actually, that works out pretty well for me. Actually, I mean, they boosted my Hydro Steam, which I'm kind of shocked by, but I think I could get a double KO here. Realistically, I think my place is Sunny Day and go for a Heat Wave. Because if I land these, I get the double knockout, which is massive. I want a Heat Wave knockout into Torn. I'm kind of surprised they have Rain Dance here. But I guess they were going to go for Rain Dance plus Sansy the next turn. We're going to see Tailwind come out, which is fine. There wasn't really much they could do. Like, they're not KOing my Walking Wake this turn with the Earth Power. I take a lot, but it's not a KO. I am able to get the Sunny Day off with my Wake. And now I get a Heat Wave, which is massive. Nice, we land both. This should KO both because it's Life Orb Charizard. Yeah, goodbye, Landorus. Goodbye, the Tornadus. That's a pretty massive KO there. And now we have to figure out how the rest is going to play out. We did take quite a bit of damage from Life Orb Solar Power, but this is still a pretty good position to be in. As Kyogre comes in and then Cali Ice probably in the back. So now I just have to figure out how I maneuver against these Pokemon. Yep. Okay. Rain over, but that's all right. Our Dialga Origin form's looking pretty good here. I think my best play is to sack the Wake here, go for the Hydro Steam into the Cali Ice and protect our Charizard. And I do like that. I don't think I need ground on this matchup, so all I need to do is get the Dialga in. There's probably Water Spout. Oh, we're faster than both of these Pokemon. That's good to know. All right. Hydro Steam does some decent damage to the Calyx Ice Rider. Water Spout going to come out. I hope this knocks out the Walking Wake. I actually hope it does. Nice. Okay, perfect. And you might be thinking, why didn't I just target the Kyogre? I don't think it's going to do much damage after I go into my Dialga, so I don't think it's that bad. I think I just go into Dialga and I go into Groudon afterward. So we're going to bring out Dialga, which is in a pretty safe position to just click Flash Cannon, maybe a Dragon Pulse if I really want to. But I like the idea of just going for the Flash Cannon into the Cali Ice. I think that's the play. I'm a bit scared of the Water Spout doing a lot of damage to the Groudon. Is it better to sack Charizard since it's done its job? I'm not 100% sure what's better, keeping Charizard around or not. I think I'm just going to go for a Flash Cannon and I'm going to swap to Groudon. Because I think Terra Grass Terra Blast should be good enough, but we'll see. Maybe I should have damaged the Kyogre Draco Meteor so Water Spout was doing less to Groudon. But the thing is, I'm more worried about Glacial Lance than I am about, like, Water Spout. That's the main move that's actually threatening here. We're going to see the Terra come out, so this is probably the Cali Ice. Yeah. Terra Dark makes sense. Okay. I didn't think it'd be Terra Water or Terra Fire on this team, which is why I went for Flash Cannon, since I felt like it would be pretty neutral, especially if it's Terra Fairy. Water Spout going to come out, but it's not going to do that much to my Groudon. Yep. And we're going to see the Glacial Lance. Okay. Big damage, but we're still all right. The upcoming turns are going to be the tricky part. We do get a Flash Cannon off. This should do some massive damage. If I had Draco Meteor, I would have just went for Draco, but don't have it. Charizard going to come in. Do you have Trick Room on the Cali Ice and do you go for it this turn? I feel like the answer is no, but you... Like, I never revealed I had... Oh, I did reveal I had Protect on Charizard. Do you Trick Room? This is the tough part. This is the tough part. If I get the read right on if Cali Ice Trick Rooms or not, I'm in a great spot. I think I'm just going to double Protect here. But we'll see. Do they go for it? Because... if they don't Trick Room, I win. If they do Trick Room, I mean, I could still win, but it's like a lot harder. Water Spout. Okay. Did you Trick Room? Because it is just a read here. Ah, they Trick Roomed. Oh, that's really bad. I need to Dragon Pulse that turn. Actually, I should have just... Actually, yeah, I should have just Dragon Pulse. Or Flash Cannon. That was definitely better. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, no, I think I lose here. I'm going to go for the double and Flash Cannon, but I don't think it works. I think I should have went for Flash Cannon. Yeah, Protect fails, so Glacial Lance is just going to clean up. I think the problem is I needed to not flash cannon, but I should have Dragon Pulse actually. I should have Dragon Pulse to Cali Ice. Cali Ice was just really hard here in the end game, but I think if I click Dragon Pulse and Protect, even if they Glacial Lance to knock out the Dialga in the final turn of Tailwind, I can play a mind game with the Kyogre because of Terra Blast and Heat Wave. The problem is I still would have had to read another mind game of does Cali Ice Protect, for instance, there. Does Terra Blast KO the Kyogre with the Life Orb and the Terra Grass? I'm not 100% certain on that one because we didn't find out what the Kyogre set was. It could have been a Assault Vest, and if it was Assault Vest, then I would still be in a losing position unless I crit, but he gave me better outs than what I did. So yeah, Kyogre just tough one in that end position, especially Cali Ice. Cali Ice was the problem because like Dialga, it's bulky. Cali Ice, it hurts a lot. All right, let's go over to games. In game one, well, this lead stunk for me and had to sack 2 Pokemon early to have a chance with coaching Lilligant and Groudon. Luckily, it was Choice Scarf Miraidon, and Iron Hands did click Fake Out into my Lilligant, so I was able to somehow win this, but it definitely was not what I expected out of the turn 1 and the turn 2 combinations. In game 2, Charizard did massive damage, and both Pokemon being able to survive the first turn of Trick Room attacks allowed me to get huge damage in response to isolate Kyogre against my Sun mode in the back. In game 3, was not expecting Draco Meteor on Electric Seed Miraidon with the Cover Cloak pairing, so I ended up with a rough position, losing my Groudon immediately. Though luckily, Walking Awake next to Charizard was able to break through a large portion of my opponent's team to clutch up the victory. In game 4, could have been scary, but a great one-shot into the Clefairy alongside a very nice discharge paralysis into full para onto Incineroar didn't give my opponent many openings. In game 5, Groudon with coaching was a monster for them to break through, but still had to deal with sleep turns. Was luckily able to get low ones and able to wreak havoc after getting the sun back up with Walking Wake as the chlorophyll made it go fast. In game 6, bit of deja vu of a position, but came down to sleep turns once again and the turn of what Lunala would do, but was able to prevent Trick Room from going up and clean up the game with boosted Earthquake. In game 7, the start was perfect, but messed up on the Calyx Ice Rider last turn of Tailwind Call and allowed them to get Trick Room, which I really shouldn't have because I think I could have gotten a mind game with Charizard, especially since I had Terra Grass available. And even if I got the call wrong and they click Glacial, I think there was an opening with that mind game available. There might have been other avenues to damage the Kyogre with maybe like Draco Meteor from the Walking Wake earlier, or keep Groudon healthy and send it in on a free switch instead. That could have been a better route, but I'm not exactly too sure. Kyogre plus the Calyx Ice Rider under their respective speed controls was just a little bit tricky to handle with this team because this team doesn't like Glacial Lance switch-ins. So what do I think about the team? I think it's a really difficult team to pilot. I was struggling to try it out earlier on, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to showcase the team because it is very difficult to set up some positions. The Lilligant especially because it doesn't have Protect. Defog was... I feel like Defog is a really hard one to utilize, and because you're using coaching with Groudon, if you want to use a spread move, you have to hit your own Lilligant, which isn't ideal, so you have to usually rely on single target damage, where you really want to go for Precipice Blades early on, I feel, to get the maximum value of coaching. It can be really tough of a time there, and again, Charizard without any speed control that's only Trick Room, and Charizard's a pretty decently fast mon, was a bit hard to pilot. I think there were just a lot of things where this team was tricky to utilize, especially because it didn't really allow you much leeway, especially in the switching department, because this team doesn't have the best switch-ins to fairy or ice type attacks. However, it was a cool team to pilot. You did have really cool options with the Charizard and the Groudon that were able to do a lot, and the Lilligant got to click boost. If you'd like to try out the team, the rental code is on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time the video comes out. And if you'd like to check out the details of the team in the creator, it'll be linked in the description down below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.